The steering council helps organize activities, and it brings a student's point of view into the primary leadership board.
First of all, let me just thank you all for taking the time in the middle of the day like this, right? Yeah. To actually spend a few moments having a conversation with me. Maybe I could just start off by asking you, all of you, if you could just give your name and then tell us what do you consider personally to be your number one character strength?
I'm Zenya from 5B. I think my greatest character strength is love of learning because I'm really enthusiastic about learning new things.
My name is Lucas, and I'm in 5C. I think my greatest character strength is hope because I never think negative.
My name is Cameron from 5A. I think my greatest character strength is creativity.
I'm Harry from 5C. I think my greatest strength is curiosity.
I'm Caleb from 5C, and I think my greatest character strength is humor.
I'm Hannah from 6C, and I think my greatest strength is optimism.
I'm Ashley from 6B, and I think my greatest strength is teamwork.
I'm James from 6D, and I think my greatest character strength is just connecting with people.
I'm Maya from 5D, and I think my greatest character strength is gratitude.
I am Leo from 5B. I think my greatest character strength is zest.
I'm Ambrose from 5A. I think my greatest character strength is leadership.
I'm Isabel from 6C. I think my greatest character strength is honesty.
Hi, I'm Einar from 6B, and I think my greatest character strength is hope because I don't give up.
I'm Mathis from 5D, and I think my greatest character strength is humor.
My name is Tyler from 5C, and I think my greatest character strength is perseverance. So when I want something, I work really hard to try and get it.
I'm Curtis from 5B. I think my greatest strength is curiosity because I'm really curious about everything.
What's your last memory of actually being on Braemar Hill?
My last memory of the Braemar Hill campus was when everyone was really happy that school was out, and they were all in a really happy and excited mood, and it was a really good time.
I remember telling my friends that I'd give them this one toy next Monday, and then it never happened.
What is it that you miss most about being in person on Braemar Hill?
I really miss playing with my friends.
I miss not needing to always face a screen.
I miss being in a good learning environment. At home, it feels more familiar still, and it can be easily distracting and stuff. And then in school, it's a better learning environment.
I'm glad to hear that. That means you're all going to be really excited to be back on campus again, right, in a couple of weeks. What's been the hardest thing about living and learning online?
I think the hardest thing is learning on a device, because there's always some sort of technical problem, people can't hear each other, and then there's a lag.
Since it's online, there's lots of distractions, so I think it's hard to focus.
Online learning is harder for people who struggle. In real class, if you're having trouble, my teacher is Mr. Chang. If I'm struggling, I could just say, Mr. Chang, I need some help. Can you help explain this to me? And he will come over and explain. But now, if we're not having class and you're oh no, I don't know how to do this, then you have to send the email, wait 4 hours for the reply, and probably your homework is overdue by then.
I feel like managing your time is a bit hard because sometimes you'll think, for example, Chinese will take 30 minutes, but it actually takes 2 hours. And so you might miss your Zoom and much more.
So you've had a lot of challenges for online learning, and I'm sure there's a lot more that we could talk about. But have you still felt like there's something that some project that you've done that's really been interesting, really exciting?
For English yes. Okay, you have to make this box, then you put an ice cube in it and see how long it can last. We try and make it last for longer than normal with the box. Put foil or something.
We've been learning a lot about food, and one time we had to make a tutorial on a certain dish that we really like. I made fried rice.
I've been making some DIY projects. Here's a car. This is a DC motor, and then there's a battery in there.
So I've been doing some writing, and it's about like what we're going through right now.
Since online learning, I started drawing things. This is probably my favorite, one of my favorite.
I drew this art and I shared it with my grandma. She told me to write this article-ish to encourage young people to help with like earth and
Actually, I've attended an online worldwide taekwondo competition. You get graded.
Wow, that's so interesting. I'm so happy to hear that you've been able to do some of those physical activities, right? Can you just explain a bit about why student council is so important in the primary school?
It's like kind of like a by the people, for the people experience for the students.
The primary school might think one thing, but the secondary school thinks differently, and I think we represent the primary side.
We're like the secret connection to the CIS leadership board, because if the students really want something, then they can just come to us.
Is it hard to bear that responsibility to be on the student council, representing your peers?
It's challenging at sometimes. Like we have to think like what is best for the students. Is it like actually like suitable for them? So yes, it's pretty hard.
Being in the student council is like really fun because like you get to experience all these new things and things that some other kids don't experience. So I think we're really lucky.
What would you want to do if you could have a magic wand for CIS that you think could really make a difference over the next year or so from the student council perspective? What would you say?
I think that we can let more people in the student council. So on one hand, we can get more support, and on the second hand, that we can give more opportunities to the students who want to join.
We should like do more camps so the students can know how to be more independent without any adults' help. We should have more trainings for different activities and recruit more people so that our school's sports teams will be stronger. A good sports team means a strong school.
I would say that we should have more activities that are fun and just relaxed, not to do with school at all, because that could really build up our school spirit and make everyone think it's more fun.
I think like really listen to the students. So if you were to make like a new adventure zone, you could ask the students for like a new detail that they would like in it.
Since like school learning is to prepare you for the future, I think we should like learn some survival skills, like cooking or sewing or ironing clothes.
Imagine that you were invited by, let's say, the United Nations to become, for 1 year, the government of the whole planet. What do you think that you would do if you were in that position?
I think I would slowly find people who are more qualified than me and split up the jobs into different groups. Like, for example, a group of people could work on the planet's environmental state. I feel like if one person has that much power, it might seem a bit too much pressure on that person.
I would change all the transportation into, I needed to run on electricity so the earth won't die so easily.
I'll start with like trying to eliminate lots of corruption in different countries' governments and maybe replace some leaders with good people so that like we can have better development.
I would help the world with equality because in a lot of countries, women still cannot go to work, little girls cannot go to school, and they cannot run for president. And I think that's very unfair.
Depending on what class you're in, you could donate a bit of money to maybe each month it could be a different kind of charity.
What advice would you give to your fellow students for coming back to school and really making the most of the time that they're going to have on Braemar Hill?
I think we should all try to socialize more because we only have 3 or 4 weeks left of the year.
Try to keep a positive attitude, help others.
Even though the coronavirus is here, everyone should not panic.
If someone sneezes or coughs, please don't be like, oh, he has the coronavirus, run! Everyone just teases him. That's actually really mean to the person because sometimes they either have an allergy or some dust went in their masks. So you shouldn't tease other people about that.
If we go back to the campus, I think that everyone should keep a good hygiene.
Sing happy birthday when you wash your hands.
Maybe you bring like extra mask, because if it drops on the floor, you don't want to wear it.
Try just staying in small groups of people and not like huge groups.
You now have more access to actually ask your teacher questions in person and stuff. So try not to be too shy about it.
I would advise people to wear gloves or something like that, press buttons.
I advise to definitely bring hand sanitizer to school, number one, and do it every once in a while, like if you go out to snack and stuff, and also wash your hands.
For the smaller kids, like since they're smaller, they might just stick their hands like maybe in dirty like little corners, so like maybe tell them not to.
I don't think that they should play hide and seek, because when they hide, the place where they're hiding might have lots of germs.
There might be a lot of pressure, like don't touch things and stuff. I still think that we should still have fun.
Since it's the last few weeks and some kids are probably going to leave after, just act like it's, try and get used to the school system as quick as possible, because it is the last few weeks of school.
I would tell my peers that if they want to get together with other friends or like play together, they should like be spaced apart.
Since we have so little time at school, we should all have like a better attitude and listen to our teachers so we can learn as much as we can.
I really appreciate and am deeply grateful to you all for all of your insights and your passion for learning and your character strengths that come out in everything that you've shared with us today. It's really a privilege and an honor to have this moment with you and to share it with the rest of the CIS community. So best wishes, take care, and I look forward to seeing you again in person.